Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2, or is it Starcraft 2 cast, as we have got something special here today. It is going to be an extremely cool mod I'm casting today. And the somehow new StarCraft content coming out 15 years after the game was released. We have got a mod that combines two of the best RTS games ever in the StarCraft 2 engine. It is the SC EVO mod. And so I've had my eyes on this for a while now, since it first came around. I think it was just a matter of time till I cast some of it, as new StarCraft is always good StarCraft. And for those of you that don't know, this SC EVO mod is a mod that basically adds in 3 new races to the game: Brood War Terran, Brood War Zerg, and Brood War Protoss. And then in the SC EVO tournament, these players, they all play each other with the different races from the 3 games. So all of a sudden, we've got sort of like a Terran variant, a Zerg variant, and a Protoss variant. Those of you old school StarCraft fans that play Brood War will recognize some of the tweaks, but basically everything looks classic. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a best of 3 here today. It's going to be Shin taking on Han Mono. And yeah, before we get too far into this one, as it's already starting out pretty crazily, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you enjoy this kind of content, or let me know what you think of it, of this mod, as this is actually a StarCraft 1 rush, Marine Bunker Rush, being done by Han Mono, the classic Terran from Brood War. And Shin is trying to defend it with StarCraft 2 units. We do have Lings and drones coming together to try and chase these Marines away. The drones went really far off of creep, however, to chase those Marines back. To buy time, one of these bunkers just about did get up, though. One of the SCVs wasn't quite targeted down by Shin. It's actually going to finish up. That's going to be massively problematic for the Zerg. And yeah, this is really, really problematic for Shin. There's now a bunker that these Marines can duck into. Queens are okay against Marines, but when they've got a bunker to retreat into, the problem is just going to compound here. Zergs apparently get bunker rushed by Terrans in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. And so, yeah, this one is going to be over here. And I know it was a bit of a quick one, but we're going to be having potentially another, well, we are going to be having more matches after this, as it is a best of 3. And it's not necessarily over yet, but this is a very rough position for Shin to be in. He's got just Lings. He's going to be speedlings to try and break this location. Looks like some of the Lings are going to try and get on top of these Marines before the bunker's finished up for them to retreat to, but the bunker does finish up. So now the Lings are going to go on right on by and start catching these Marines as they pop out. I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 Marines in the main base still. The Lings are cleaning up all these Marines as they pop out. So Shin, I mean, he kind of took the wind out of sails of this push for Han Mon. Han Mon is still going to be trying to break down this hatchery. Killing that would be nice. The Marines in the bunker got to be really careful, though. More Marines are popping on out to deal with these Lings, but there's still enough Lings to get a surround on them and kill them. And as long as Shin keeps producing Lings, he may just be fine here. As, yeah, the Lings are now getting on top of the bunker on the high ground, so it looks like the Zerg may have actually held this rush. It looked kind of rough, but yeah, Shin manages to hold on and win the game. And I'm just going to quickly load on into the next match here. That's actually the beauty of this mod. It's that I can just quickly load right on into game number 2. And we'll do that. And that will allow us to be able to just see that, just to see what happens next. As I got the time turned off there. And we've got a best of 3 with the Zerg in the lead. But now all of a sudden things are a little bit changed up, as Shin is going to be playing the Brood War Zerg. Looks a little bit more vicious than StarCraft 2 Zerg, I'll say. A little bit less round, less rounded edges, a bit more jagged. We do have the Brood War skins that were added into StarCraft 2. in some of those skin packs that we had, so that's cool to see. But of course, it's going to be more difficult for Shin to play, I think, because Shin is a pro StarCraft 2 player, and so he's not used to playing against this, whereas now Han Mono, who I believe is primarily a Brood War player, I want to say, I could be wrong, is kind of out of his element here. But yeah, for those of you that follow Pro StarCraft 2, this is something completely different. It's new to me. I'm just figuring this out for the first time, but SC EVO is such a cool project to try and combine the Brood War and the StarCraft 2 communities that have kind of always been at an arm's distance away from each other. So I think that that's really neat. The unit interactions are so different because, for example, Shin, he doesn't have Banelings to try to play a ZVT with, which is pretty hard for Zerg. But then, of course, there's all sorts of different units. Like, I mean, the Hydralisk is different. I'd say Lurker, but we got Lurker in Legacy of the Void. Eventually, the Queens can fly, so there's no classic Queens for Shin to use to defend either, so he's just going to have to get out a spawning pool to make his first defensive tool. Sunken Colonies are a big tool for Zerg in this mod, it seems. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy these kind of mods and you want to see more, let me know. I'm trying to bring a variety of StarCraft 2 content to the channel, as I think variety is the spice of life. But if you enjoy this kind of match, make sure to go ahead and hit or subscribe if you're not subscribed. We do have got that metabolic boost on the way. It's actually just the old Ling speed upgrade. Increases Zergling movement speed by 50%. That's actually more than the boost Lings get in StarCraft 2, I believe, which is cool to see. We do indeed have a sunken colony, or no, that's another hatchery, pardon me, building. Lings managed to get a nice surround on that Reaper and kill it. That's very important for the Zerg, seeing as how otherwise he would have just had to keep chasing that Reaper. There'd be no command center, or I mean, pardon me, there'd be no queens to push that away. I say command center because on the other side of the map, Hanmon's actually going for a 3cc expand build, but building the CCs on the high ground, just playing it nice and safe. Shin's got that third hatchery going up in the main base, so apparently he wants more larvae, but look at this. Shin all of a sudden runs into the main base with these Lings, and these are Brood War Lings. They're a little bit more vicious, I think, than the StarCraft 2 ones. I want to say a little bit. Hanmon has now got to fight Lings with his SCVs. That's a bad feeling, so a quick move by Shin to get some nice damage done. No, the Brood War Lings are actually a little bit weaker. I don't know the actual stats, the differences. Now it's got speed, though. Just gonna keep running around. SCVs can chase it. Hanmon does get the wall up, but Shin sees all. He sees the third command center. And we actually have got now Overlords being produced. That production tab looks a little bit different. A creep colony going up. Helps spread the creep. There's no creep tumors for Zerg, so it's actually a little bit more effort to spread creep. And Shin actually is utilizing this to build a wall. Because, of course, you gotta have something to wall to keep the Hellions out, so this is how the Brood War Zerg style is adapting. We've then got a Spire on the way for Shin, so he's going to be playing Mutas, which is cool. Maybe they're better than StarCraft 2 Mutas, which are a bit finicky units. Hanmon behind this is playing just Terran Bio Expand. We even have a bit of a cheese icon that got thrown down. I'm not sure what threw that down. Yeah. This game's definitely already going a little bit longer than the previous one, though, which is cool to see. Shin playing Brood War Zerg. He's already got a sunken colony at the door, and he's got Lings out because he's going to need them to potentially block these Hellions if they dive for his base. Notably, Brood War Zerg doesn't have roaches, which is a bit of a handicap too, because roaches are quite a nice defensive tool for Zerg to defend against certain timings. And so you can kind of look at that and say, well, the Zerg's probably just going to go into like Mutas or Hydras as a Brood War Zerg. In this case, it is Mutas, so Han Mono is going to have to deal with that. However, he's already got lots of Marines on the way, and mass Marines may just be able to kill the Mutas if they get across the map quickly enough. The Lings, however, are also being produced for Shin, so Mutas and Lings can maybe take on certain numbers of Marines. The Terran's got a strong economy behind this, dropping mules, which of course don't exist in Brood War. But yeah, for those of you wondering, this mod is rebalanced slightly because, of course, if they just directly ported Brood War into StarCraft 2, some mechanics would be too weak. I think some of the Brood War races seemed a little bit weaker than the StarCraft 2 ones, which is understandable. So the devs are trying to counteract for that. We do see the mutas just come on in. Hanmon stims all his Marines and just tries to react to get on top of this. He's chasing those mutas away. The mutas won't regenerate as quickly as they do in StarCraft 2, as they don't have that advanced tissue regeneration. But look at that. We're hearing the classic Mutalist sound by the mutas now. They're just microing back and forth, killing off the Marines. Han Mono is kind of just falling apart to these Mutalists. He's building turrets in a panic, but he's already lost 11 SCVs to this. That's not good. How many mutas have died? The answer is 3 mutas for 15 SCVs. Zerg will take that trade. Han Mono is kind of failing to react to these mutas, and that is not good, because that's kind of a failure, because he did see that a Spire was built, so he should have known that this was coming. SCVs are hugging a turret trying to get that up, but yeah, Han Mono, for a Terran that got away with quite a greedy opening, is taking way too much damage from this. In fact, this almost looks like classic StarCraft 2, how much damage the Terran took. Like, back in the old days, players would just lose so many workers to attacks like this. And now we see the turrets are up to try and defend this, but Han Mono's economy is kind of falling apart. He's down on supply, and Shin, being an active pro gamer, seems to be pretty lethal right now. He's getting ready for what seems to be a 1-2 punch. The mutas are getting some good damage done, and now it's going to be lurkers attacking on in with Hydras and Lings. That is a lot of Zerg. I don't think Han Mono has got enough stuff to deal with this. He's just got out some medivacs now. There's no combat shield on these Marines just yet, and so this is a lot of Zerg coming in all of a sudden, and lurkers, whether they're Brood War or StarCraft 2, are pretty darn good. I think the Terran usually needs tanks to deal with them, and I think lurkers in StarCraft 2 are pretty darn good. We see a really nice positioning on this army for Han Mono to deal with the Lings. The Marines and Hellions backing into the corner, but there's still not enough of them to deal with this. They can't really be reinforced, it seems, as there is. I mean, there's just too many lurkers here. SCVs run on in, but those Brood War lurkers do deal a lot of damage, it looks like, just like regular lurkers. And Shin takes the game. 1 StarCraft 2 game and 1 Brood War Zerg game. Playing quite a nice game there. And so Shin was the one who won this best of 3. 2-0, nicely done. And yeah, I think that this was a really cool first look at this mod. As is the nature in online cups, there tends to be a lot of cheeses and things like that. But I'll definitely check out some more of the replays if you guys let me know if you want to see more of these. As yeah, we didn't see too many major differences here, but if you follow the games, you know that's the case with the different races. Shin actually went for 3 hatcheries here at his natural, just to have, I guess, that larva production, since there isn't queens for the Zerg. And then, yeah, just went for a nice timing attack. I think Han Mono could have played this match as Brood War Terran a little bit better, but I don't know what race he mains, but I don't know if it's StarCraft 2 Terran. And that's the cool thing about the SC EVO League. It keeps things fair by having the players play all their races. And so I'll definitely check out some more of these games. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. Join the Discord, which is linked down below if you want to join the community. Leave a like, and if you want to support the channel, become a YouTube member. But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning on in.